Today we will be discussing about 4-quinolones and fluoroquinolones. The 4-quinolones are synthetic antimicrobial agents. They are mainly active against gram-negative bacteria and they have bactericidal activity. 4-quinolones were derived from quinine. The first generation of the quinolone begin with nalidixic acid, which was introduced in 1962 for the treatment of urinary tract infections, and nalidixic acid was introduced by the scientist George Lasser. The limitations of nalidixic acid are: nalidixic acid has very narrow spectrum, it has very poor systemic concentration, the tissue penetrability of the nalidixic acid is very poor, rapid emergence of resistance and frequent CNS side effects. To overcome these limitations, nalidixic acid was replaced by cyanoxacin and roxazoxacin, but they also had no any significant changes other than nalidixic acid. Now come to the 4 fluoroquinolones. In 1980s, quinolones were substituted at position 6 and 7 respectively in the 4-quinolone structure. They lead to development of many agents labeled as fluorinated 4-quinolones and 4-fluoroquinolones. They have extended spectrum. They active against gram-positive bacteria as well as gram-negative bacteria. And the bacterial cell penetration of the 4-quinolones was also better than 4-quinolones. The other advantages of 4-fluoroquinolones were they have high potency, they achieve good systemic concentration, they have good tissue penetrability, and they also have lesser incidence of antimicrobial resistance, and they also have lesser side effects than 4-quinolones. Now come to the agents which first generation fluoroquinolones are norfloxacin, ciprofloxacin, pfloxacin and ofloxacin. Second generation fluoroquinolones are sparfloxacin, lomefloxacin, leofloxacin, moxifloxacin, gemifloxacin, prulofloxacin and belofloxacin. The fluoroquinolones which are used topically are basifloxacin, which are used for ocular infections, and nadifloxacin, which is used for skin infections, and phenafloxacin, which is used for ear infections. Now come to the first generation or older fluoroquinolones. They were used for mainly they are used mainly for systemic infections, gram-negative systemic infections, but they are not effective against as pneumoniae and anaerobic infections. They also have less activity against pathogens like chlamydia, mycoplasma and legionella. Second generation or newer fluoroquinolones, they are also effective against as pneumoniae and anaerobic infections. They have longer half-lives. Due to their longer half-lives, they can be used once daily. Many of them second generation fluoroquinolones, they interact with theophylline and warfarin, and second generation fluoroquinolones have better penetrability than first generation fluoroquinolones. Now come to the mechanism of action of fluoroquinolones. They inhibit DNA enzymes like DNA gyrase and topoisomerase 4. Due to inhibition of DNA gyrase of bacteria, they interfere with correction of positive supercoiling of the bacteria. Due to interfere with correction of positive supercoiling, it will lead to damaged DNA, and DNA will be degraded by nuclease enzyme, and it will lead to bactericidal action of fluoroquinolones. And due to inhibition of topoisomerase 4, there will be less suppression of daughter cells, and due to less suppression of daughter cell, it will lead to arrest multiplication. Now come to the antibacterial spectrum of fluoroquinolones. Ciprofloxacin of first generation or older fluoroquinolones are effective against aerobic gram-negative bacteria like E. coli, Salmonella, Shigella, H. influenzae, Enterobacter, Pseudomonas aeruginosa, and gonorrhea, etc. And they are less active against gram-positive bacteria, and they are usually not effective against anaerobic bacteria. Second generation agents have similar spectrum like ciprofloxacin, but they are effective against S. pneumoniae and anaerobic infections. Now come to the point how resistance is developed against fluoroquinolones. The most important mechanism of development of resistance against fluoroquinolones is due to mutation in chromosomal genes, and due to mutation in chromosomal genes there will be less effectiveness against DNA gyrase and topoisomerase, and due to less effectiveness against DNA gyrase and topoisomerase, they will not able to inhibit topoisomerase 4 and DNA gyrase, and due to less inhibition of topoisomerase 4 and DNA gyrase, there will be less bactericidal action, and they can't be able to inhibit, they can't lead to bacteriostatic action. The second mechanism of developing of resistance is there is less permeable cell membrane. Due to less permeable cell membrane, there will be less systemic concentration of the fluoroquinolones, and they won't be able to inhibit bacteria. And the other mechanism of developing of resistance is due to efflux of the drug, and it will lead to less bacteriostatic and bactericidal action. Now we will discuss about the important feature of fluoroquinolones. All four fluoroquinolones are bactericidal in nature. They have post antibiotic effect of fluoroquinolones is prolonged. The other important feature of fluoroquinolones is the resistance. The mechanism of development of resistance is very low. Their activity is pH dependent. They act maximum on alkaline pH, and their activity reduced at acidic pH. Now come to the pharmacokinetics of fluoroquinolones. First of all, we will discuss about first generation fluoroquinolones. Norfloxacin have bioavailability 40% at oral administration. Norfloxacin has half time 3 to 5 hours. The route of excretion of norfloxacin is renal, and the dose is norfloxacin is 400 milligram once a day. The second fluoroquinolone is ciprofloxacin. Bioavailability of ciprofloxacin is 70%. Half time of ciprofloxacin is 3 to 5 hours. The route of excretion of ciprofloxacin is renal, and dose is 250 to 750 milligram per day. Now come to the pfloxacin. The bioavailability of pfloxacin is 95%. The half time of pfloxacin is 8 to 12 hours. The route of excretion is renal and hepatic, and the dose is 400 milligram per day. Now come to the ofloxacin. Bioavailability of ofloxacin is 95%. Half time is 5 to 7 hours. Route of excretion of ofloxacin is renal, and dose is 200 to 400 milligram per day. Now come to the levofloxacin. It has maximum bioavailability 99%. The half time is 5 to 7 hours. The route of excretion is renal, and the dose is 500 milligram per day. Come to the lomefloxacin. It has 95% oral bioavailability. Half time is 7 to 8 hours. The route of excretion is renal, and the dose is 400 milligram. Come to the sparfloxacin. It has bioavailability 90%. Oral bioavailability 18 to 20 hours is its half time, and excretion it excreted by hepatic and renal route, and dose of sparfloxacin is 200 to 400 milligram. Come to the gemifloxacin. It has oral bioavailability 70%. half time of gemifloxacin is 7 to 8 hours. Excretion of route is renal and hepatic, and dose is 320 milligram per day. Come to the prolifloxacin. It has oral bioavailability 90%. The half time of prolifloxacin is 5 to 7 hours. The route of excretion is renal, and the dose is 600 milligram per day. Now come to the adverse effects of fluoroquinolones. First of all, GI adverse effects. The GI adverse effects of fluoroquinolones are like vomiting, nausea, GI distress, etc. Come to the CNS side effects of fluoroquinolones. The CNS side effects of fluoroquinolones are like confusion, headache, dizziness, mood changes, psychosis, tremors and convulsions, etc. Come to the hypersensitivity and dermatological adverse effects. Fluoroquinolones can lead to rashes, photosensitivity, and the highest photosensitivity of fluoroquinolones which causes is sparfloxacin. And the musculoskeletal adverse effects of fluoroquinolones are arthropathy, arthralgia, joint swelling and tendon rupture, etc. Come to the central venous system adverse effects. It can lead to hypotension, tachycardia, prolongation of quintuple. It causes tachycardia due to reflex action. The other adverse effects of fluoroquinolones are it will lead to direct fever, chills, serum sickness syndrome, bronchospasm, etc. And one important point is getafloxacin was banned for systemic infection cause because it leads to dysglycemia. The interaction of fluoroquinolones are like fluoroquinolone drugs like norfloxacin, ciprofloxacin, pfloxacin raise the concentration of theophylline and warfarin by inhibiting their metabolism, but their second generation fluoroquinolones, they do not interfere with theophylline and warfarin. Antacid, iron salt, sucral fat, etc. reduce their absorption of fluoroquinolones. Non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs like fenbufen raises the concentration of enoxazosin leading to convulsions. Now come to the clinical usage of fluoroquinolones. They can be used for STDs, sexually transmitted disease like gonorrhea, syphilis and trachomatis like GIT infections, in trials diarrhea and diarrhea due to cholera, in urinary tract infections. They can be used in prostatitis, they can be used in typhoid fever or enteric fever, and the ciprofloxacin is the drug of choice for enteric fever. They can be used for respiratory infections like pneumonia, and they are second generation fluoroquinolones are effective for as pneumoniae. They can be used for mycobacterial infections like tuberculosis, and ciprofloxacin, levofloxacin and moxifloxacin are used in tuberculosis. They can be used in conjunctivitis. The most of the fluoroquinolone agents are effective against conjunctivitis. And due to prototype, the ciprofloxacin is the prototype drug of fluoroquinolone, so ciprofloxacin may be used in meningitis, plague and anthrax. You can also see in the diagram the uses of fluoroquinolones like ophthalmic infections, like infections of bone, joints and soft tissues. Mechanism: they inhibit DNA gyrase and topoisomerase 4. Due to inhibition of DNA gyrase, they lead to bactericidal action. Due to topoisomerase 4 inhibition, they lead to bacteriostatic action. They can be used in respiratory infection. They can be used in inhaled anthrax. They can be used in mycobacteria infection like tuberculosis. They can be used in GI and abdominal infections. They can be used in prostatitis. They can be used in urinary tract infection. They can be used in sexually transmitted diseases. Now come to the other fluoroquinolones like belofloxacin. Belofloxacin used in prostatitis and urinary tract infection. Pazufloxacin used in gram-positive and gram-negative bacteria including anaerobic and resistant strains. And come to the granoxacin, which is used in respiratory infections due to both gram-positive and gram-negative bacteria. So till now we have discussed about introduction of fluoroquinolones, first generation, second generation. We have discussed mechanism of action, we have discussed their adverse effect, we have discussed their clinical uses, and in the next topic we will discuss individual fluoroquinolones. Thank you very much.